The homeless crisis reaching cities across the country, and schools are feeling the impact. Nationwide, more students are homeless than ever before.
And in New York City, over 114,000 students were homeless during the last academic year. That's 1 in every 10 children in the city's public schools. So what can be done to make sure disadvantaged kids have access to top quality education?
Here to discuss is the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. Madam Secretary, thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it. Answer that question for us. What more can be done to ensure that everyone gets access to quality education in this country?
Well, Dean, we know from our nation's report card that too many students are not having an education experience that really helps them develop their fullest potential. 2 out of 3 eighth graders can't read or do math at the level they should be able to. And so President Trump and this administration is very focused on helping create new pathways and more freedom for students and their families to find the right fit for their education. We know that kids learn differently. They all need different things at different stages in their life. And so introducing more kinds of opportunities for them to achieve their fullest potential is what we are really focused on doing.
Now, Secretary DeVos, you're certainly someone who didn't have to be in service to the nation. You're financially just fine, well off, but you choose, this has always been a passion of yours, finding ways to educate the disadvantaged here in the United States of America. You're a big advocate of school choice, the school voucher system, charter schools. Are these some of the answers to that problem?
Well, we know that, again, more education freedom, and it can mean a whole wide range of types of schools or types of learning experiences. It doesn't have to necessarily even be a school building, but introducing more freedom and especially empowering families who don't currently have the economic means to make those decisions, empowering them to be able to find that right fit for each of their children is really a major focus of this administration, of this president. And we've introduced a piece of federal legislation called Education Freedom Scholarships that would really give rocket fuel to efforts that are already happening in a number of states across the country. We want to make sure that every child, no matter where they learn or how they learn, has the best opportunity ever to get educated and learn for their future.
Well, and Secretary, about that, so we've seen 2020 Democrats really abandon school choice. I want you to listen to this, and then I have a question for you.
Far too many charter schools in America are performing worse, much worse, than public schools.
If I'm president, Betsy DeVos's whole notion from charter schools to this are gone.
For-profit charter schools must come to an end.
Well, and Secretary, Senator Cory Booker, who's also running, actually worked alongside you before on school choice, being a huge advocate of school choice, and then he abandoned that position, especially during your confirmation hearing. Why would he do that?
Well, we know that the Democrat candidates for president are beholden to the teachers' union. They're all trying to get their endorsement. But the fact is that over 1 million families are on wait lists for charter schools. There aren't enough of these options. There aren't enough of these opportunities across the country. That we need more of them, not less of them, because they are providing many students the kind of opportunity and the kind of direction that they need. The results prove out, and the demand is there.
Secretary, there was a Democratic Congresswoman, Frederica Wilson, who accused you last month of wanting to destroy public education. It wasn't about economic freedom. It wasn't about school choice. You're out to destroy the public or government-run school system. How do you answer your critics who make that charge, 2020 Democrats amongst them, as you try to give education choice to people?
The reality is that I care deeply about every single child, no matter where they learn, no matter where they attend school. And this president and this administration cares deeply about the future and the opportunity that every child has to become everything that they can be. That's why we are not satisfied. We will not rest until we make the kinds of changes and introduce the kinds of empowerment and opportunities that all families need, that currently the wealthy and the powerful and the well-connected have, but those who don't have those means are stuck with, in too many cases, in schools and in situations that simply aren't working for them. And we're not going to stand for that.
I still hear, Secretary, a lot about Common Core when I'm out and about. People watching their kids try to do homework they can't figure out themselves. What's being done by this administration to get after Common Core?
Well, just as President Trump campaigned on to end Common Core has been ended. This administration has implemented the Every Student Succeeds Act as Congress intended, and there is no Common Core at the federal level. We have also continued to expand opportunities around career and technical education and apprenticeship and internship opportunities. Again, acknowledging that all kids learn differently, they have different interests, there are different opportunities that require different kinds of preparation, and those are the kinds of things that we need to continue to give fuel to so that more students can access the future that they need.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Secretary DeVos, thank you so very much for your time and your passion, and we appreciate you talking to us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I guess it just comes down to the fact that I still live in a state where we have Common Core.
Well, I was trying to help my godkids the other day do math.
I can't do math anyway.
I couldn't just do a math problem. I had to estimate it.
No,
I was like, I don't understand.
And then they do experiential reading, where it's like there's no phonics involved. It's like just kind of figure.
But at the state level, they still have it, some Common Core, and it's a tough one.
But kudos on them.
Secretary DeVos, she's doing a great job.
And at the federal level. That's right.